We have scary police recordings, along with an explosion that's recently happened in Egypt. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to the latest bizarre and more questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
This is genuinely one of the most messed up things I or you will ever see. What the hell did I just watch? This has been going pretty viral over, and this happened back in 2021 in Carolina. Here again though, what makes it even more horrifying that I've seen, apparently the area where this happened was right next to the Conjuring house. So this one night, a guy was driving home and he thought that he saw someone in the road that needed help, so he stopped to help them. Something pretty horrifying must have then went down, because that's when he called 911, and on the call he is literally saying, "It's not human, what is going on?" You can hear he is audibly screaming and panicking, like this wasn't made up. And there's been a lot of interviews coming out with the actual sheriff that took the phone call and the guy himself, like this was not a hoax. Most people believing it was some kind of rake, the urban legend, which people, whether they believe in it or not, something was definitely going on that night in the woods.
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53E.
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road. It's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
I have heard this story a couple of times now, and each time it's a different scenario of place. Sometimes it's South Carolina, sometimes it's North Carolina. I cannot find anywhere online of the actual story about this, so I cannot confirm it to be a real or fake story. The call though does sound dreadful. This one's always up in the air as far as it being real or not. I personally lean on it not being real, but let me know what you guys think in the comments.
The following footage comes from a beekeeper who was out on his farm tending his bees when he noticed this unidentified creature was watching him. But the thing is, he doesn't have goats, nor any other creature or animal that could look like this thing. And why was it hiding, peeking out at him? And here's the other thing. By his naked eye, it had an almost human-like quality. Take a look at this. Comment below. Tell me what you think this could have been.
I'm pretty certain that this is actually an older video as well. Nonetheless, if I seen something like that while I was doing my job, I don't know about this person, but I know I would be carrying my thing on me. I would not hesitate to walk forward and see what that really was and film doing so. I mean, it could only be one of possibly three things. Someone has a goat that just got loose and it's in your field, and if that's the case, that's fine. Or it could be someone that's dressed up as a demon that snuck onto your field trying to scare you, in which case then you can just snap them up and throw them off of your property. Or the third thing is it could be a demon, which, and if that's the case, just blast away. But in this video, we'll never know.
An explosion in Egypt right as the president is pulling up and another plane went down. And it gets crazier, but let's start here. So we just had a plane down in Massachusetts, right? Helicopter down in California, and yesterday we had the plane crash in Texas. Even weirder and completely unrelated 1000%, then Dan Scavino posts this video of the president leaving for Israel with multiple planes. Weird, right? What? Is this by accident? Of course, it has to be, right? I mean, come on, right? Of course, unrelated, while all these planes are going down everywhere. Obviously it's not weather if it's Texas, Massachusetts, and California. Moving on. Now how come when the president lands in Egypt, all of a sudden there's an explosion? Like what? After the video I made last night? Are you serious? And of course, unrelated, not to mention we just had in Egypt that concert with a bunch of occultic stuff behind it. Like, yo, what even is going on? Because this is weird. At the same time, we just shifted timelines on the Schumann frequency for no apparent reason. But I woke up feeling crazy weird today, and all this weird stuff seems to be clashing within itself. Of course, we add to it what I showed you last night about Uri Geller's warning to the president, and also at the time of this peace deal, they released this picture of him looking like this, which again was not by accident. It had to be done a certain way to get that exact thing. There's even banners up in that country where it says Cyrus the Great is alive, and they're talking about the president. If you don't know who that is, then it's your homework. But again, this right here, is it possible that maybe something crazy did happen and we just jumped timelines? Those who say no don't know anything about quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, or spooky action at a distance, and also simulation theory. Besides the president stuff, who knows? But one thing we do know, something is up. And I mean, literally, something's up. Because regardless what happens, something massive is happening in the spiritual realm. And this massive is going to affect all of us.
I was curious about the explosion that happened in Egypt, so I looked into it here. Apparently, the explosion was really powerful. So powerful that it shattered windows miles away from the site of where it happened, which occurred at a military base here, it says. As of right now, reading this article, the cause of the explosion remains unclear, but presumed to not be done out of malicious intent. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more information as to what happened there. And as far as these planes that keep going down, right now is not the best time to be in the sky, in my opinion. Way too many sky errors happening. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's watching and or subscribed, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
Mount Hermon. Oh, in the book of Enoch, 200 angels, watchers, descended upon the top of Mount Hermon. But this man, Sir Charles Warren, he was the chief of police for London or something, but he wanted to go to the Israel-Palestine area and map it out. And he made it to Mount Hermon, and he said there was this giant ancient temple. There's no pictures of it, but what he did was he drew it out. It was a spiral thing.
Wow.
And he said at the center, it appeared to be like an altar for sacrifices. But up there also was this giant stone tablet pillar. And so he's like, yo, we're going to bring that back with us. They brought it back to England, but then the British Museum put it in the archives. And to this day, no one is allowed to go and do research on it.
Wow.
But today, the peak of Mount Hermon is a UN lookout post kind of thing. If you're not high ranking within the UN, you cannot go up there. They have banned any archaeological digs, anything around that area.
Not
Oh,
cool.
man.
Not cool.
What's
Terrible.
crazy too is some biblical scholars theorize that the transfiguration of Jesus also happened at the top of Mount Hermon. If the Watchers descended upon this place, is there a weird portal?
So wild. That's crazy to think about.
Very interesting. Now, I did look up Mount Hermon because I was curious about it, and it does say here that the UN does operate on Mount Hermon, but what I do not see is where it says you cannot do archaeological work. It actually says here that Mount Hermon has significant archaeological sites, so I'm not sure where they got that information from. But again, what I'm getting is from Google, so it may not also be accurate. I'm not digging much deeper into it than that. And on top of all that, it's also a ski resort. For it being such a sacred mountain, they let a lot of people play on it.
The dangerous thing about traveling to the ice wall in Antarctica is you're going to have to figure out a way to get up off the boat, up the actual tall ice wall, and then get onto this platform here, and then travel all the way down there and make sure that you stay warm enough to survive until you make it to new land out there. So it's very difficult and it's very dangerous to human life. This is what you would need to get over there, a boat that has a crane that would literally pick you up and then move you over on top of this probably 200 foot, 300 foot wall of ice. I think that's how tall they are. They're not that tall, maybe 1,000 feet. But once you're up there, it's just a barren wasteland of ice for miles and miles. And then you have to walk all the way over there until you find any type of land, because the sun is so far away from this area that it's freezing, and you're not going to reach any warm temperatures until you reach the second sun, which is in the next zone, the next area of the ice wall. I mean, the new land. because the other lands have a different sun, and those warm up those, and they're on the other side of the ice wall. And some people have found openings in the ice wall. This is called a summer's gate, where the sun gets so close to Antarctica where it melts an opening in the ice wall for a passageway for a boat to sail through. But these can open up at any point in the year, and they're kind of hard to find. So you have to go there at the exact right time. And throughout history, some people have actually found this, and this is what I'm talking about. It'll show here right on this map. An opening that is like 100 miles wide because the sun has melted so much of the ice down where a whole bunch of people can go in and out. And people have found these openings all around the world, and they're charted and they're mapped out. You can figure out where they are. Anyway, pick up my latest art design that I created. I put it on a shirt. The link is in my bio. If you do get this, it really helps me out to be able to keep making these videos.
Man, oh man, one day this guy will get over his ice wall. Probably not, but he'll sure keep talking about it. It just amazes me on how serious he is about this, or at least how serious he sounds about it, and how many people in his comments seem to support him, as if this is real. Now, I know I'm not the only one that clearly knows that this is all satire. At least I would hope so. That's also a reason why I play his videos, to try to bring that to your attention, or to make you more aware that there is people out there that truly believe what this guy has to say and invest into his beliefs by either funding his merchandise or his GoFundMes. Yeah, I mean, however you want to spend your money, go for it. But to spend your money on someone that's claiming that they're saving up money to go over the ice wall just seems a little far-fetched to me. But apparently there's a lot of people investing in it. Maybe I'm the crazy one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys think that this guy is satire, or do you believe what he is saying is true?
This chip uses light to supercharge AI and massively cut energy use. This little image right here of a photonic processor could revolutionize the entire AI industry because it uses only a tiny fraction of the required electricity to get the same results out. So traditional convolutional neural networks, or CNNs, are what does most of the work for all of our greatest AI hits like ChatGPT and things like that. The downside to these is that they are brute force methods, and they are very data and energy intensive. Data centers are popping up all over the rural United States, and even inside of cities. They're soaking up electricity generation resources, processing resources. They're just a very resource intensive industry. And in order to tackle this growing energy demand, researchers have turned to something new: photonic joint correlators that swap electricity for light and handle some of AI's most power-hungry jobs. What makes it special is that it cleverly repurposes trusted photonic components from optical transceivers, adding a new twist: additions of on-chip silicon photonics based on FT Fresnel lenses that actually do complex light-based mathematics right on the chip. And with the addition of lasers, we can juggle multiple computations at once using different colors of light, using a technique called spectral multiplexing. And at the end result of all of this, we get something that has 98% accuracy, which is about what our current AI models get, but it uses about 1% of the electricity. It uses way less electricity, because instead of using traditional chips and CNNs, the light itself, the lasers and the light on the chip, is doing the processing at a very low energy input. So I think that's extremely impressive. And if it's possible to scale this technology, we might reduce AI electricity overhead by like 99%.
Well, they also need to figure out how to integrate that into everyday electricity, because it would just be nice to not have to worry about an electricity bill. I mean, don't get me wrong, if we can also help calm it down for the AI scene, that's good, because apparently it is extraordinarily power hungry. But we should also be doing that for people in their home electricity as well, at least in my opinion. But nonetheless, still really cool, and hopefully that can help develop further things for our electrical system. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. If today's your birthday, happy birthday, and if not, have a good day anyways.